Zoe Ball tried saving lover after 2 suicide attempts before he killed himself. They had a friendship and beautiful relationship, they were the love of each other's life. Brad Abbott's Billy Yates, 40, rammed his car into a motorway barrier and tried to kill himself with barbecue fumes before his death last May, the hearing was told. He had concerns over a large tax bill, but his relationship with Ball was going well when he was found dead at his London home, Westminster Coroner's Court heard. The pair had a beautiful relationship and were the love of each other's life after meeting through their TV work, the inquest was told by his family. But a coroner returned an open verdict into the death of the former Royal Marine, who had been drinking on the day he was found dead, as she couldn't be satisfied that he had intended to take his own life. After his first suicide attempt in November 2016, Ball, 47, paid for a 2-week stay in the Priory Hospital where Yates' mental health began to improve. Related articles. Zoe Ball makes emotional tribute to late boyfriend Billy Yates. Zoe Ball's tribute to her late ex Billy Yates revealed. Zoe Ball set for epic 300-mile sport relief cycling challenge in memory of boyfriend Billy. Ball, the first female host of the Radio 1 breakfast show, had been dating Yates for several months before his sudden death. A friend of 15 years discovered his body on May 4 last year at his apartment in Putney, southwest London, after he hanged himself, the inquest heard. Yates was found lying on the floor with a bruise to his head, the hearing was told. A local shopkeeper, who was the last person to have seen Yates several hours before he died when he popped in to buy a soft drink, said he appeared cheerful. Brad Abbott's, who discovered Yates' body, said, "I was friends with Billy for the last 15 years. We kept in regular contact and I am aware that in the last 5 years Billy suffered depression and it got so bad that he tried to crash his car. It was a cry that he needed help. He received treatment for his injuries and he was admitted to the Priory where he was for 2 weeks on a voluntary basis. I received a text from a friend asking if I had heard from Billy. I left Cobham just before 6 p.m. to check on his welfare and got there at about 6:30 p.m. I went up the stairs and I knocked on the door and there was no answer. I pushed against the door and it opened. Straight away I saw Billy lying on the floor with his hands by his side. He was lying face down wearing a pair of dark jeans, there was discoloration in his face and he was very cold." A statement from Yates' family, read by Coroner's Officer Julie Kidd, said, "William was known and loved by a great number of people and was a sweetheart to many. He was in the Royal Marines until he broke his leg and opted out and left Lancashire and moved to Greece and worked on Greece Uncovered, which his parents were never allowed to see. Working in TV, cast and crew knew that if Billy was on the job they would be having a good time. That was where Billy met Zoe. They had a friendship and beautiful relationship, They were the love of each other's life. William lived his life in something of a whirlwind. William's life, although too short, was filled with absolute individualism. He suffered greatly from depression which plagued him on and off for years, but life became too much for him. Assistant Westminster Coroner Shirley Radcliffe said Mr. Yates died of asphyxiation due to a ligature. As he had been drinking in the moments before he died, she returned an open verdict as she could not be certain it was not a drunken, impulsive act. She said, in November 2016 he appears to have deliberately crashed his car in part because he could not bear the intensity of the thoughts that were intruding into his mind. He was admitted to the Priory and he was still having suicidal thoughts and he was started on different antidepressants and mood stabilizers and made good progress. His private therapist said he was seen to be in a good place and his relationship was going well, but financial difficulties were still hanging over his head. We know that on March 20 he rang a mental health service line that he had tried to end his life the night before but he did not attend A&D. There was alcohol in his system and he had a problem with alcohol and had been abstinent since August 2016. The level was 92 mg in the blood, above the legal limit for driving. It can exacerbate depression and he has previously described himself as impulsive. Taking into account the level of alcohol and the fact that he had not used it for some time make it difficult for me to be sure it was intended. Therefore I will record an open conclusion. For confidential support call the Samaritans on 116 123 or visit a local branch, see www.samaritans.org for details.